How often do you feel like you're just going through the motions, stuck on the same path everyone expects you to be on? What if the most meaningful journey you can take isn't about finding something completely new, but about rediscovering a part of yourself you've quietly set aside? Let's talk about how to find that spark again. The verse immediately sets up a fascinating tension by talking about truth and lies, but it does so in backwards, almost playful way. The singer starts by saying, "You know that it would be untrue, you know that I would be a liar." Right away, he's creating a shared understanding with the listener, the girl in the song. He's saying, "We both already know something to be true, and for me to claim otherwise would be a deliberate falsehood." This isn't just a simple statement, it's a conspiracy. He's pulling her into his way of thinking, making her an accomplice before he even reveals his point. The brilliant part is what he claims would be the lie. The lie would be to say, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher." On the surface, in the context of 1967, higher is a direct and obvious reference to the psychedelic drug experience. But the genius of the line is that it works on multiple levels. It's not just about drugs, it's about a higher state of consciousness, a more intense emotional connection, a more profound spiritual awakening, or a more ecstatic physical experience. He's arguing that the ultimate untruth would be to claim that their experience together has a ceiling, that there's a limit to how far they can go. So, by stating what the lie would be, he is powerfully affirming the opposite truth, that they can get much higher. In fact, the potential is infinite. The entire verse is a clever rhetorical device to argue that transcendence is not only possible, but is the only honest outcome for their relationship. He's not just asking her to light his fire. He's building a logical, if psychedelic, case for why it's the most truthful, inevitable thing they can do. He's framing the pursuit of this extreme experience not as a rebellion, but as the only authentic path forward. The chorus shifts dramatically from the verse's intellectual, almost philosophical argument to a raw, primal, and direct incantation. Where the verse was about establishing a shared truth, the chorus is a pure, unadulterated plea for action. The repetition of "Come on, baby, light my fire" is hypnotic and urgent. It's less of a request and more of a command, a necessary trigger for the transformation he outlined in the verse. The word fire is the central metaphor here, and it's incredibly potent because it represents so many things at once: passion, desire, life, energy, destruction, purification, and rebirth. He's not just asking for a spark, he's asking to be ignited, to be transformed from a state of potential into a state of blazing, uncontrollable energy. The final line, "Try to set the night on fire," expands the scope of his desire exponentially. It's no longer just about his own internal fire. It's about taking that energy and projecting it outwards to consume the entire world around them, symbolized by the night. The night represents the ordinary world, darkness, the unknown, and the canvas for their experience. To set it on fire is to completely alter reality, to turn the passive darkness into an active, brilliant, and dangerous spectacle. The use of the word try is also interesting. It introduces a sense of challenge and ambition. It acknowledges that this goal is monumental, perhaps even impossible, but the value is in the attempt itself. It's a call to abandon caution and pour all their energy into this shared, transcendent goal of burning away the mundane and lighting up the universe with their passion. This verse is where the song's philosophy shifts from invitation to necessity, building a powerful sense of urgency. The opening line, "The time to hesitate is through," acts as a definitive deadline. It declares that contemplation and doubt are not just unnecessary, but are now obstacles to be overcome. This isn't merely a suggestion to act. It's a statement that the window for choice is closing, forcing a now or never moment. This urgency is compounded by the next line: "No time to wallow in the mire." The mire is a brilliant word choice. It evokes something thick, muddy, and stagnant. It represents the heaviness of everyday life, despair, depression, or simply the emotional gunk that weighs a person down and prevents them from reaching for something higher. He's arguing that to remain in that state is to be trapped, and that time has officially run out for that kind of passive suffering. The verse then introduces a startlingly high stakes gamble with the line, "Try now, we can only lose." This is a radical and almost desperate bit of logic. He's framing inaction as the only true risk. By not trying to light the fire, by not pursuing this transcendent experience, they have already lost. The potential for loss isn't in the attempt, it's in the failure to attempt at all. This flips conventional wisdom on its head. Usually, we think trying and failing is the risk. Here, Morrison argues that not trying is the guaranteed failure. This leads to the climactic and darkly poetic final image, and our love becomes a funeral pyre. A funeral pyre is a structure for burning a dead body. So, if they hesitate, their love won't just fade. It will become the very structure of its own destruction. It will be a monument to death instead of a catalyst for life. This paints their potential in action as a form of death, making the call to light my fire not just a desire for passion, but a crucial act of survival for their connection.